Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Just want to go into this lesson. I came across this video, browsing the internet. It was this individual from the Northern Kingdom. They were speaking on the movie that came out, that new Black Panther. It's not going to be, a movie reviews, more so, what she was saying about it, or the comments, that was posted on the video. She said the movie had, it made her feel some kind of way. I guess certain scenes that took place, in the movie, I haven't, seen it myself. But from the previews, you could see that it was, pretty much the Southern Kingdom, going against the Northern Kingdom. But, what caught my eye was some of the comments, that was left on this video. I guess a lot of people had a problem with that, from people from the Northern Kingdom and people from the Southern Kingdom. So I'm going to just read some of these comments, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai willing, I could put them in the post-production as well, and then we're just gonna get some scripts. So this is one comment. It says, I'm Afro-Latina, and trust I was conflicted as fuck. I'm for both sides. Namor wasn't a villain, neither was Wakanda. And you can see this in the previews. You can see that basically they was fighting each other. And I remember the first trailer, they didn't really show, what was going to take place. They didn't really show that, those two sides were going to be, going against each other. And then the later trailers came out, they showed more and more that they was basically going to be going up, against the Northern Kingdom. But, the people didn't like that. They didn't like that aspect of the movie. Now we know this is all, fictional, Wakanda don't exist, It's not an actual place. There's no people that have that name. Okay, but the symbology of the movie, it got, people upset, man. All right. Them seeing, so-called black people going against, the so-called Latinos or, the natives. All right. And it's a reason for that. And then, the person that made the video replied, they said, right, I couldn't root for either side. I just kept thinking that this is not the fight y'all should be fighting. Okay. And who is the main aggressor in the situation? If you watch the movie, well, even from the previews, because I haven't seen the movie myself, but that was something, that came into my mind. Like, well, they should be going after Esau. But that's the same sentiment, that a lot of people that watch the movie have. Okay, they shouldn't be fighting against each other. They should be fighting against Esau. They should be going against the oppressor. All right. And another comment, it says, I'm not Latina, but as a black person, this just made me realize even more how similar our stories are, rooting for both sides. And that's something that more you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are going, realize, man. All right, that the struggle that the so-called Latinos and the Native Americans have is the same struggle that we have. Okay, we both oppressed by Esau, okay, the so-called white man, the so-called Europeans. We were both put in slavery. We both had our nationality and our heritage stolen from us. Okay, and unto this day, we still in the same position, man. We on the bottom. And the reason for that is because we are the same nation. All right. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right. And, this other comment here, it says, same. I'm so mad that the conflict was directed towards each other and not towards the colonizers. All right. So, hey, people, they upset at Esau. They was wondering why, the movie didn't go that way. Okay, now we all understand this is a movie, it's all fiction, but that spirit is being stirred up in Jake, man. Okay, not just the Southern Kingdom, but the Northern Kingdom as well. All right. And there's a reason for that. Okay, and the reason for that is the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai All right. It's pretty much covering the earth right now, man. The Most High have set forth his prophets to push this spirit out. All right. And even though Jake doesn't really acknowledge, the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, nevertheless, that spirit is still being pushed out. Okay. You still see so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, coming together in the camps, man. All right. On one accord. Okay. That schism that Esau has put between us, the different language barriers, the different, slight cultural differences. All right. Because really, if you go into what, the Northern Kingdom does and the Southern Kingdom does, it's the same shit, man. All right. It's the same, kind of vernacular. It's just a different language. The Northern Kingdom, they speak Spanish. Okay. The Southern Kingdom, they speak English. So, out there in Haiti, they speak patois. All right. But it's pretty much the same thing, man. Okay. They talk exactly the same, manner of speech, because we're the same people. All right. This is Revelation 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt." And that great city is talking about America. Okay. And their dead bodies is talking about the nation of Israel, all 12 tribes. All right. Because when you go into Jeremiah, all right, was it the 50th chapter? It tells you that both kingdoms was oppressed here, man. All right. And you can see, that sentiment echoing in, the comments towards this movie, or why weren't they going after the oppressor? That was the feeling that Jake had in their mind when they watched this movie, man. Okay. Even though it's fictional. Okay. They understand that this conflict that was taking place was wrong. All right. This is Jeremiah 50:33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, the children of Israel," which is the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans. All right. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, the Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes, were oppressed together." And where were they oppressed together at? Here in Babylon. All right. That's the reason why these individuals watching this movie, they felt that feeling, man. We've both been oppressed by this devil. Instead of fighting each other, they should have been fighting against the real enemy. Okay. And like, one of the individuals said, it made me realize how similar the struggles are. It's really the same struggle, man. Okay. So-called Latinos and Native Americans, they catch the same hell that you so-called Negroes do, man. And the reason for that is because we are the same people. All right. We come from the same nation. All right. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, the children of Israel," the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, "and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And unto this day, they refuse to let us go, man." And this damn devil continues to come up with, different schemes to try to put us against each other, man. Okay. But through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, those things, are being torn down. All these different tactics that the so-called white man has come up with to keep you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans separated. Those things are being torn down, man. All right. So this is back in Revelation 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt." Okay. Which is talking about here in America. Okay. And one of the reasons why America is spiritually known as Egypt, not only do they, follow the customs of the ancient Egyptians, all 12 tribes are here in captivity as well, just like in the ancient Egypt. All right. It says, "Where also our Lord was crucified, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves." And that 3 days and a half represents a period of 350 years. Okay, roughly from 1620 up until 1970. Okay, which 1970, that's when, the elder Albert Bibbins, okay, received, those revelations from the angel. All right. And he started preaching the word, man. The spirit from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai literally began to be pushed out, okay, towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. And that's when, things started to shift. Okay, because this sentiment has always been around. We should be going after the oppressor instead of, coming against each other. Okay, because during the 60s and the 70s, you had a lot of uprisings from the tribes, man. Judah was getting at Esau. You had the civil rights movement. You also had these other groups, coming on the scene. The Black Liberation Army, all this other stuff, Black Panthers. Okay, but at the same time, those movements were taking place amongst the so-called Negroes. Yeah, the rest of the tribes were getting down too. Okay, you had the AIM, the American Indian movement. Okay, which that was, Gad pretty much fighting for independence and liberation from this damn devil. Okay, you had the Puerto Rican independence movement. All right, which was basically, Ephraim getting at Esau, man. Okay, and there's videos out there, because you had a lot of Puerto Ricans out there in New York, and still you do today. All right, you got them pretty much sitting down with the Southern Kingdom, and they was talking to Esau. Edomite was interviewing them, and they basically said, like, we the same people. We got the same kind of struggle, man. This is my brother right here, So that sentiment has always been there, but now what we got going on, because, the truth is just, exploded so much, that spirit is being pushed out even more heavy at this moment, man. All right. And it's no coincidence, even though this is a fictional, piece of work. This is not historical. This damn devil still chose to put, the Southern Kingdom against the Northern Kingdom, because this is, actually from the storyline, But you got a lot of Jake that ain't with it. They felt some kind of way about it, man. All right, it says in there, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, the 350 year period, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. When you look this word dead up, it goes into, Jake being in a conquered state. Okay. Also, the scriptures say a man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Okay. So when we were conquered, what did the so-called white man do? He took our nationality from us, man. And this is something that specifically happened to the nation of Israel. And this only happened to a certain group of people down here upon the earth. This didn't happen to all these other nations, man. It happened to the so-called Chinese. It ain't happened to the so-called Japanese, them Hamites. It happened to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, because another thing that was in these comments, Jake felt some kind of way because they heard, that native tongue being spoken, man. And they wasn't speaking Spanish in there. All right. What's the reason why Jake don't speak their language? Okay, the language they were speaking before the so-called white man came on them is because Esau stole your nationality from you. Now he beat it out of you. Okay, he put you in slavery, and when he enslaved you, he told you can't speak your native tongue. He tells you that you can't practice your customs, man. You gotta adopt my way. Okay. And he only did that to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. He pushed his ways upon these other nations, but they all have their culture. They all have their history, man. All right. You go to India today, they speak English over there, but all them gods that them coolies been worshiping, they got all the temples up there. They got the records from thousands of years ago that land was established. Same thing with the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans. Okay. And so on and so forth, man. The only ones who don't have their history are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And who are the two prophets? The two prophets represent the two kingdoms, the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom. Okay. It says, and after 3 days and a half, after that 350 year period, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. So that spirit started, to be propagated amongst so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Beginning with the elder Albert Bivens going out there and preaching the word, man. Okay. And then from there, you have what's going on today. All right. All these, men out there on the highways, they had just preaching the word. Okay. All these believers, man. Not just from the Southern Kingdom, okay? Because the so-called white man, Esau, He likes to use this derogatory term and calls the black Hebrew Israelites. First of all, we ain't black. Okay? Nobody down here is black. So-called Negroes, different shades of brown. All right? But we got so-called Latinos in here too. So-called Native Americans. How's this a black movement? Okay? It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And this is taking place right now. Okay, and the mere fact that you have this sentiment amongst the people that's watching this movie, the so-called Latinos, okay, that's watching this movie, they feel like that conflict is fruitless. It shouldn't be going down. Really, they should be getting at, the government. Okay, or the so-called white man that's portrayed in the movie. Okay, that in itself, comes from that spirit that's being pushed out by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, because it's gonna come a time where you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're gonna come together, man. And I'm not just talking about in the camps. Okay, the camp is a precursor of what's getting ready to take place down here, man. Okay. Because this image is being pushed forth, into Jacob's mind, man. So they see, the camps, they see the southern kingdom with the northern kingdom. All right. And whether they agree with it or not, agree with the message, nevertheless, that spirit is being pushed out there, man. They see the 12 tribe sign. Okay. And they see who makes up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay. And then you got, movies like this that's sparking things in Jake's mind. All right, they shouldn't be fighting each other. They should be fighting the colonizer, okay, which is Esau. This is Zechariah 9 and 12. It says, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto you. When I have bent Judah for me, okay, which Judah represents you so-called Negroes. Okay, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and Ephraim represents the northern kingdom. All right. So the Most High is going to cause both kingdoms to come back together, man. And you see the beginning of that with, the brothers that's out there on the highways, the hedges. Okay. Because that schism is gone. You don't see, the southern kingdom looking at the northern kingdom some kind of way in the camps. All right. And you don't see the northern kingdom looking at the southern kingdom some kind of way in the camps. There's solidarity and unity, man. Why? Because we all come from the same nation. All right. We from the same stock, man. And all these, snares that Esau has laid to try to keep, the nation of Israel separate has been destroyed by the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and have raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. Who are the Grecians, man? Okay, the so-called white man has a saying: the civilization started with the Greeks. Okay, which the Greeks, they were Edomites, so-called white people. All right, so there's gonna come a time where Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna take the so-called Negroes and the so-called Latinos and Native Americans. He's gonna put them together. All right, that's where you get the bow, and the arrow reference here. Okay. He shall bend Judah for a bow and fill it with Ephraim. What do you fill a bow with? You put arrows in it, man. The weapon's not complete without those two things. You can have an arrow, but the arrow ain't going to do no damage if you don't have a bow. And vice versa. You can have a bow, but there's no power from the bow if the arrow can't be shot from it, man. So the Most High is going to make the nation of Israel a complete weapon. All right, to go against the colonizer, to go against the oppressor, to go against Esau, Edom. Okay, the children of the Greeks, man. And you can see that spirit going forth. Okay, that spirit of solidarity between the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, despite the effort that you Edomites, despite your efforts to thwart that, it worked for a while, but just like we read in Revelation 11 chapter, the spirit of life from the Most High has entered into the nation of Israel. All right. It's like you read in, Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, you're going to have Israelites that's going to get the You know, the bones, the sinews are going to come upon them. You know, the muscles, the flesh, but they're not going to have the spirit. Okay. And that's, you know, these individuals that the comments that we reading. Okay. They don't have the spirit, you know, so they're not able to put two and two together and be like, hey, you know, we the same people, you know, but they still feel in their spirit that this is wrong. This is off. You know, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, they should not be fighting against the so-called Negroes. Okay, that's wrong. They should be going against the colonizer. The reason why that mindset even exists is because the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. This is Isaiah 11:11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, which is talking about the northern kingdom. Okay? Which the majority of the northern kingdom, they got cast out the land, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai brought them over here to the new world. So the Most High is going to gather the elect of the northern kingdom. Okay? It says, and he shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah. And Judah, the southern kingdom, has been dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth as well. All right. The Most High is going to gather the entire nation. Okay. It says, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Okay. Because there was schisms between the two kingdoms. All right. Ephraim was looking at Judah some kind of way, and Judah was looking at Ephraim some kind of way. Okay, it was actual wars that took place between these two kingdoms, man. But that's all, you know, water under the bridge, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, all that's gone, okay. And you see the beginning of that with the camps, okay. And what you see in the camps is, you know, eventually going to trickle down to the rest of our people. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has pretty much set up the elect. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are willing, we part of that number. The Most High has set up the elect as a standard for the entire nation, man. Okay. And even though Jake don't really listen to what we saying, Jake sees what's going on, man. Jake sees the camps. Jake sees the videos. Okay. And although he might not agree with the doctrine, he still sees that image, man. He still sees so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans together. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. All right. And you got that, you know, it still takes place today. You see, you know, the southern kingdom talking shit about the north. Oh, you're the Mexicans. We ain't got nothing to do with them. You know, they ain't had the same struggle as us. They ain't been through the same thing, you know. And then you got Ephraim here talk shit. The northern kingdom talk shit about, you know, the southern kingdom. You know, the evil blacks and all that madness. You don't see that in the camps, though. Okay? And that's the standard that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is setting. All right? And then with movies like this, just like you see in the comment board, that mentality is being erased. A lot of people don't think like that no more. Okay? They looking at Esau some kind of way, man. It says, Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom. Who is Edom? Edom is a so-called white man, the colonizer that they were speaking about in the comment board, man. That same devil that's in that movie. Okay? It says, they shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. So the Most High is going to call together the nation of Israel. Okay. And they're going to go after Esau. They're going to go after the Edomites, the Moabites, and the Ammonites, man. Okay. And the rest of the nations as well. But these are, you know, some of the top nations on the Heavenly Father's hit list, man. All right. You know, since we want to go into that, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Aruch Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone. Shalom.